6 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a question to Mr. McKenzie. Your colleague from Suncor recently bragged that thanks to Trudeau's TMX pipeline, that the sun is shining and it's time to make hay for big oil. But the sun isn't shining on Jasper or the 200,000 other Canadians forced to flee their homes because of floods, fires, and climate disasters. Do you accept a shared responsibility for Jasper burning down, for homes flooding, and for hurricanes that are tearing through communities?
You know, when we see those kind of tragedies on television and we see the people that are directly affected by it, I think everybody's heart goes out to them and everybody feels very sorry for the victims of these kind of natural disasters.
I appreciate that, but do you share responsibility?
Company, Mr. I'm going to come to that, Mr. Singh. I think that we have employees inside Cenovus that have been directly affected by the forest fires we had here in Western Canada in 2023 and 24. And we know firsthand how these tragedies affect people.
So do you think your industry shares responsibility in what's going on? That's the question.
Yeah, I think what it does, Mr. Singh, is it highlights the complexity of the issue. I'm not a forester and I know nothing about hurricanes. I don't know if CO2 caused these fires. I don't know if CO2.
Okay, so you're denying that fossil fuels being burned has anything to do with climate change. Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm suggesting to you that I don't know, and I'm suggesting to you that very few people know. But what I am suggesting is that
people
it highlights the complexity of the issue and that we need to do something about CO2.
Sir, just a moment here, sir. No one is denying the complexity, but I'm saying that do you share responsibility as a fossil fuel burning company in the reality of the climate crisis we're in? Do you share responsibility in that? There's many answers, but to completely deflect and say it's complex, obviously climate change is complex, but you're a fossil fuel burning company. Do you share responsibility?
Point of order.
In the climate crisis that's going on?
Employs Albertans.
Okay.
And you're asking about Alberta.
So
and you're not either of those things, right?
Ms. Stubbs has a point of order, but I'll remind colleagues again, I've got your time on hold, Mr. Singh. Please do not use point of orders for debate. They're for point of orders. And if you have a point of order that you have a concern of and you want to reference what that point of order is with the standing orders, you can please do so. So I'm going to, Mr. Singh, go back to you. And you can continue with your questioning.
Thank you. So it's clear that you're denying the impact of the climate crisis and the fact that burning fossil fuel contributes to that. That's deeply troubling. I want to also point out something that's very interesting. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Oil and gas companies like yours raked in $37 billion in profits last year, a whopping $64 billion in profits in 2022. On top of that, Justin Trudeau is handing you $12 billion in money for carbon capture projects. And on top of that, he bought your industry a pipeline, mind you, that will cost every Canadian household $1,200. And yet you still come cap in hand, you and your industry, asking for more government handouts. So let me get this straight. You're burning the planet and you expect us to pay you to do it?
Mr. Singh, I reject the entire premise of your question.
Wait, you reject the money that you've been given? You reject the billions of dollars in profit you made? That's a ridiculous thing to say. Yeah. Obviously, you've made these billions of dollars of profit. Obviously, you're receiving billions of dollars of handouts from the government. And on top of that, you're asking for more. So what is there to reject in that? That is a ridiculous thing for you to say, sir.
Mr. Singh, we paid $48 billion to all levels of government in 2022. Yes, we did make profits, but almost 50% of that went back into government coffers.
And you received billions of dollars of public money as well. That's a fact as well. Your
Well,
industry
I'm not
receives
sure which billions of dollars you're talking about that we receive.
TMX pipeline.
The national report that we publish every year, it sits on our website, which shows exactly how much government money we've received and exactly how much government we've paid. And I think if you look at that, you'll find that we paid well in excess of anything that we received directly. And in fact, that amount is de minimis. I'd also suggest to you that the TMX pipeline was built for Canada and Canadians. And the benefits.
It's built for the oil industry. It's built for your sector, for your industry, in $1,200 per Canadian families to subsidize your sector on top of the billions of dollars you're receiving. And then you're still asking for more money. So you're literally asking Canadians to pay you to burn the planet.
So we are asking for nothing from the Canadian government.
Mr. McKenzie, I'll ask you to hold on your answer. We have a point of order from Mr. Falk. And please, Mr. Falk, point of order, not for debate. So go ahead.
Because I think Mr. Singh is financially challenged. I don't think he understands income and expense statements or, well, he's asking.
Order, Mr. Falk, I'm going to cut you off. That's not a point of order. You're engaging in debate with a member here and directly targeting them. You can use that on your time if you choose to during your time to ask questions to the witnesses and direct them towards them, not towards other members. Mr. Singh, your time is on hold. I'm going to turn the floor back to you. You have about 45 seconds.
Mr. McKenzie, Canadians are making sacrifices right now. They're making sacrifices like fewer groceries in the cart. But you sure as hell don't have to make those sacrifices. Your CEO pay in your sector is up as much as 75%.
Mr. Singh, I'm going to ask you to hold again. We have another point of order. Go ahead, Mr. Falk, on a point of order.
On a point of order, the Speaker of the House recently called a member in the chamber out of order for using the kind of language Mr. Singh just used in committee, and I'd like him to withdraw that.
I'm not.
You don't even know what the language is.
Mr. Singh, just hold a sec.
Yeah, this is interference, Chair.
I'm not sure what.
Speaker,
so
the
look,
Speaker ruled it out of order in the House. It certainly should be out of order.
Not. I did not hear what was said, but I'm gonna ask all members, Mr. Falk, excuse me. I'm gonna ask all members to use parliamentary language throughout our conversations. We'll do our best to make sure that any unparliamentary language that we hear, we will. We can go back into the record and look and see if anything unparliamentary is said. But I will turn it back over to you, sir, so you can continue on your questioning.
Apologize.
Pause the time for a second.
Yeah, the time is paused. You have a. Go ahead.
Of course they did. Yeah, I just want to make sure, Mr. Chair, you're okay with it. I said, you sure as hell don't. And if there's a concern about that, I can change that. But I just want to make sure you. Because these guys right here, the Conservatives, just for the folks watching,
I'll ask everybody to hold for a sec.
Interrupt because they want to defend these guys.
And Mr. Singh, just hold for a sec, please.
Make your assessment based on what you think.
So I will ask colleagues, once again, or remind colleagues, I haven't seen the Speaker's ruling on on the language used. We can go look at that, but I will ask all colleagues to focus on using parliamentary language here at the committee that's not offensive towards anyone. And if we focus on that, I think we can get through today's meeting without any concerns. So thank you for your point of order. I'm going to go back to you, sir, and you have about 35 seconds left, I believe, and please go ahead.
So Canadians, I said, are making a lot of sacrifices. You sure as heck are not. CEO pay is up by as much as 75%. But Cenovus fired 2,000 workers just a couple years ago, and as many as 50,000 workers could be fired because of your automation plans. You're returning 75% of your cash flow to your shareholders. So your profits don't create jobs. Your profits don't reduce emissions. Why are you using public money to give millionaires raises and to fire workers?
Very short answer, Mr. McKenzie, as we're at the end of time, but go ahead. Please provide a short answer.
I believe the numbers that you were talking about were the workers that were laid off as part of the integration work between Husky and Cenovus. And that was all part of the public record. I don't know how to answer your question, Mr. Singh.
You don't know how to answer because there's no answer that's justifiable.
Time is up. You'll get another opportunity afterwards.